Rise that airtime transaction error. All these are made possible via our app or our website www.mypatricia.co. Do it with ease, do it with Patricia. Patricia, Bitcoin made easy. Is a fintech solutions provider. More than a bank, it is a digital bank. It provides you with an alternative payment medium using cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. Patricia allows you to do more than just buy and sell Bitcoin, as you can also store and fix it. What you can do with your Naira and dollars in terms of payment and transactions, you can also do, and so much more with a Bitcoin. You get to pay for data, airtime and cable subscription all using your Bitcoin. And that's not all. You also get a luxury Bitcoin ATM card attached to your Bitcoin wallet, with which you can make payments at any time and anywhere in the world. Do you have gift cards for sale, or do you need to buy a gift card? Patricia has also got you covered. With our fast, secure and convenient platforms, you can buy and sell gift cards. This is how we are built for you. We also know how little errors can cause huge inconveniences. That's why we created a feature that helps you convert your excess airtime to cash. And just like that, you can rewrite that airtime transaction error. All these are made possible via our app or our website www.mypatricia.co. Do it with ease, do it with Patricia. Patricia, Bitcoin made easy. fintech solutions provider. More than a bank, it is a digital bank. It provides you with an alternative payments medium using cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. Patricia allows you to do more than just buy and sell Bitcoin, as you can also store and fix it. What you can do with your Naira and dollars in terms of payments and transactions, you can also do and so much more with a Bitcoin. You get to pay for data, airtime and cable subscription all using.
Hi everyone, good morning. My name is Oluwatosin Olasehinde. I'm the founder of Money Africa, and I'm here with my panelists. I have here with me Ernest Obi, who is the global sales head for Flutterwave. I also have here Amadou Daffe, who is the co-founder and CEO of Gebeya. All right. So we'll be jumping right into it. The session is going to take approximately 30 minutes. For the first 20 minutes, we'll be talking with our panelists. And for the last 10 minutes, we'll be taking questions from the audience. So please feel free, jump into the box, send us your questions and answers, and we'll get right into it. All right, Jen, so let's start. For people that have never heard about your companies before, right, can you just give us a one-liner of what your company is and what you do? Amadou, we'll start with you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Olu. So Gebeya is a talent infrastructure company. In other words, we support businesses who want to build great products and services by matching with the best talent possible. Talent can be anywhere from tech to soft digital. What we guarantee our clients is a trust, integrity, and sort of hard work from the talent we place them with.
Fantastic. And Ernest?
Flutterwave.
Okay, so, all right, Ernest, please go ahead. Okay, so while we're waiting for Ernest's line to come through, I'm just going to still come back to you, Amadou. So now we're talking about scale, and there's so much buzz about scale. What is scale, growth, amongst others? On what part of the graph would you consider Gebeya to be at, and how are you guys responding in terms of scale? Where do you see your company on that chart?
At scale is at what point do you burn so much cash to actually catch up with your traction, whether it is revenues you're trying to get or more users. Are you burning enough cash to get to your traction? So at Gebeya, where we are right now, we're not burning that much cash. We're achieving the same sort of level of revenue growth we want to have with using what we already have, the same staff, the same. Every now and then we'll hire one or two people here and there, but essentially we're staying within what we're best at to kind of grow our revenue accordingly. So we're at the scale level.
So you're at the scale level. All right, fantastic. Ernest, can you please just give us a one-liner of what Flutterwave does, and then we can also get into the question about what curve are you guys on. All right, it's gone again, so I guess it's just a terrible network. Amadou, back to you. So you've spoken about how, in terms of burning cash to hit a certain kind of revenue, are there any plans to go aggressive in the near future, or you're very happy with that point?
No. So we raise seed money, which allows you sort of to fix whatever operational issues you have within the company. It's not necessarily working capital. When you have seed, it's not necessarily working capital. It's really the first step to get you to the Series A, B, C, or whatever. So we're going to be raising money again soon, Series A, which allows us now to be in between scale and growth, right? Because we're a talent marketplace, right? In that regard, you have working capital that you need to provide for your talent because you need to pay them on time while the client is to, pay you maybe a month or 2 months later. But you also need to put in the right people in position. With a talent company, you have to establish a lot of trust and relationship with your clients. So you need to hire people that can build that relationship in between. So the next step is Series A. Hopefully in the next 24 to 48 months, we'll be able to reach that. And after we really solidify our scaling model, then we can, on Series B, we'll get to growth, where we're going to figure out how do we take our platform to the next level, right? But by then we'll be burning, cash at that point to get to the next level.
Fantastic. All right, Ernest, it's nice to have you back. We're just asking about what level Flutterwave is on the growth chart and how and what scale means to you at this point.
Right, thank you. and sorry about the poor network. Flutterwave, of course, is a global payment company with a focus in Africa. Our vision and mission is obviously to make payments simple for every business, make it easy for businesses in Africa to be able to sell to anybody anywhere in the world, and we're able to get payment fulfillment done simply put. In terms of where we are as a company today, yeah, I can say we are still at the scaling level, which of course continue to make major impact. With early in the year, we concluded our Series B fundraising, obviously to enable us to expand and cover every area in Africa in terms of our presence. That does not limit what we do today, as we are able to also make payment easy for everybody, every business in the continent. So that is where we are at the moment, and we're looking forward to continue the growth path that we've been in the last few years.
Fantastic, fantastic. And back to you, Amadou. So you guys are like a marketplace company, right? And in terms of scale, from the supply angle and from the demand angle, where have you seen more pressure?
Yeah, there's two sides. You got supply and demand. So on the supply side, I think we're doing much better in terms of scaling, because it's the acquisition cost of a talent to join our marketplace, whether they came from our training leg or they came in from somewhere in LinkedIn that just reach out to us, is very low. So we don't spend that much money in terms of acquiring talents. On the demand side, though, we've been very conservative the past 3 years. Most of our clients are inbound so far. We haven't done any aggressive outbound marketing, hence a lot of people don't know about us. Now the challenge is now, how do we do that outbound in a smart way without burning additional costs? So we're into this limbo, hence why I need to do a proper Series A, so I can get enough sort of structure in place, at the executive level, to help me sort of do an outbound marketing strategy that brings us enough clients to sort of match the supply that we have in waiting, in a sense. So we're in between, yeah.
Okay, great. So, I mean, look at what 2020 happened. Like, especially talking about a country like Nigeria, we were faced with a triple whammy. Number one, we experienced a devaluation. Number two, we experienced a slowing economy, which was a global thing. And number three, we also saw a devaluation. So, Ernest, this is for you. For a player in that space, looking at all these three different, instances, how do you think they can actually survive, depending on expanding, especially in the lockdown situation and also in a slowing market? Can you just shed more light on that?
Right. Thank you. Of course, what has happened is a global issue that affected every business. So Flutterwave is not in isolation. As a plan, we had to sit down again, rethink our expansion plan that was put together for 2020. The impact in our revenue, of course, is huge. We play majorly in every sector, in every vertical, and we're doing great in the travel space. That revenue line was cut off completely for like 6 months now. And of course, you have the plan for the year was factored into a couple of things we factored in based on the expectation in terms of revenue, and being able to open up more markets was also based on what we expected to come in. So we had to rethink and reposition our strategy and started digging deep into what else can we do and how can we manage our cost, which was a major also factor, right? I remember in a meeting where we all decided to say, come on, guys, do we have to continue doing it this way with the changes that has happened? Obviously, the answer was no, and we have to think about better ways of doing things to make sure that costs remain really low or even lower than how it was before the crisis that the world has faced today. So in terms of opening up more markets, we haven't done what we needed to do this year, obviously, because movement, there are things you needed to do, be present to be able to achieve that. But it has not changed our vision, our plan to make sure that we cover every part of the continent in terms of being present, being able to make businesses accessible to anybody in the world. And we have remained focused in that plan. So the major thing for us is keep doing what we do, keep managing our costs, keep improving on efficiency, keep making businesses, even that depend on us to be able to get paid. Part of what came out of this whole crisis was a launch of our new product we call the store, because we realized that only the big players could still continue doing business in the continent, even globally. For a small business who depend on NS who walks into his or her store to be able to buy few things, there was no way that person could sell during the total lockdown. So we created a store where people, they just need to do without any cost to building a website, could just sign up on Flutterwave and create your store, post your product, and make it available, copy a link and distribute to as many people as you can through every channel that you have of communicating. And when that was done, all you needed to do then was the payment, which of course Flutterwave provides for small businesses. So apart from Flutterwave planning to remain in business in the midst of the crisis, we also opened up opportunity for small businesses that needed us to be able to survive, needed us to be able to remain in business, needed us to be able to also reach out to their customers, to do that at no additional cost to them. So we played in a role in making sure we all don't get to a stage where it becomes difficult to survive as businesses. Yeah.
Fantastic. So by supporting your ecosystem, you also keep yourself in the market. So it's a win-win for both parties.
Obviously, yeah.
Great, amazing. So Amadou, I'm going to come to you now. I'm talking about how the impact of, the COVID-19, the environment, the slowing economy, what has it been for Gebeya for you guys?
Yeah, for Gebeya, well, we were going to, whether it was COVID or not, we were going to go to sort of a very digital way of doing things, right? So the past 3 years, we call ourselves a platform, a marketplace platform, but most of it was done manually, right? We have a very sort of primitive website right now that catches the attention of clients, they submit stuff, but the essential of what we were going to do in the future was having an online platform that's Pan-African enough that, someone like Ernest looking for specific talent for Flutterwave can go in, book the talent, have little sort of curated thing with somebody and then hire talent. So we were going to go that path. What COVID did was it kind of accelerated it. So we took all our resources and let's focus on making sure by second week of January we have a platform that's live that can serve the entire market. And the fact that remote work is a new norm, sort of, especially if you're in the tech field, is an advantage for us. Before there was this sort of friction with talent, a client that would say, no, I need the talent in-house, right? Mm-hmm. But now it's a little bit looser. It's not fully remote fully, but there's some hybrid sort of options there. So in our training model, same thing. We went within 2 weeks. Our training was very physical because we don't teach necessarily just technical skills. We do a lot of soft skills, which is what people are looking for when you work for remotely. Attention to details. Are you on time all the time? You're charismatic to do a presentation? Are you able to follow up on, all these different things that developers or technical people don't usually have? We have to do that now because, when you do a conference call, it's a different thing. So that training that was very physical and very hands-on, we now pivoted automatically to our online, which makes it scalable now. You see, with an online platform, you can scale because it's the same content you're distributing. You don't have to do it over and again. And on a marketplace, same thing. It allows now, like I say, any company around the world, as long as we market it properly, to just plug into our website, get the talent that they need, project management, so make payments online. Maybe we'll work with Flutterwave to get payment because that's our paying process, by the way, to pay multiple African developers across Africa. So it worked out for us, really. It accelerated our market.
Awesome stuff. So I'm going to come back to you, Ernest, right? Now we're talking about scaling. There is no way you can scale without customers because they are the ones that actually bring in the numbers and, grow the revenue. How have you been able to keep customer acquisition costs low? So now for an entrepreneur out there that's listening to you and they're thinking about how can they implement this in their own businesses, so how do we do the trade-off? That is, we want to acquire more customers, but at the same time, we do not want to burn too much capital. How do you find the balance there?
Right. Pretty simple, right? I realize that sometimes we spend so much time chasing the right businesses. If a business need to strive, especially in the sales part of it, you need to identify your right customers. If you get a right customers and identify where they are, how to reach them becomes easy. It is only when we spend so much energy, resources, chasing the wrong things that you end up spending so much and achieving little or less than what you expect. So what we have done really well, of course, at the scaling level, you need to make sure you have the right people, and identifying the right people to handle the sales job makes it easy for you to spend less. It is only when you don't do that, expecting that for you to meet the numbers, you need to hire certain numbers of people. I remember at the point of budget setting, you always like, okay, fine, we did $1 billion in revenue in 2019. So for us to do 100 billion, you need to double the number of staff, and not necessarily so. If you get the things right and be able to go digital. Today now, I remember things, in fact, the whole of last year, for you were jumping from one office to another, riding over, and all of those costs have been taken off. And trust me, we have not done less than, in fact, we've done better this year, even selling from the comfort of my home, that when the entire sales team jumping around, running over, going from one office to another. So those are the areas we need to improve as businesses. How do I reach the target or the right target audience? How do I make sure I'm selling the right products and not sell?
Okay, so it seems like we've lost Ernest there, but just to do a quick recap, we was talking about a product fit, we was talking about chasing the right businesses, we was also talking about just being smart with resources so you do not have to double. Okay, you're back, go ahead, and you can just, recap that, all right?
Yeah, so I could hear everything, which of course is...
All right, seems that's happening again. So I'm just going to recap that, right? So we're talking about product fit, chasing the right businesses. You do not have to double your sales force, and you can just, go out there and make the numbers work. So once you have a better vision and you see what you're driving at, it's easier for you to hit those goals. All right, great. So interesting insight from Ernest, talking about, how entrepreneurs can do that. And a question just came through, and this question is going to Amadou. It states that, this is from Dawit Ambesu. It says that, what are the major limitations or challenges to scale for African-based companies? So Amadou, that question was thrown at you.
All right. I think for scale it shouldn't be a problem. Like I said, scale is just how sort of ambitious are you with your revenue. Let's say if you want to make $1 million revenue with a few handful of people, a little office, your cost, your working capital is very low, right, to get there. If you want to sort of grow to a $10 million now, it's a different story. Now, my always thinking, having made a lot of mistake, I think when you scale, you should dominate the environment in which you're in. If you're in a country, let's say Ethiopia, where you do business, we should dominate Ethiopia and learn a lot from that to scaling, maximizing on limiting our costs and all that different things before you go out. The challenge is now, how do you grow? Which is now you acquire new markets, right? For that one, it's another stage of sort of either investment, because you can't use the same resources to go from, if Gebeya wanted to come to Nigeria, I can't use the same resources. Cultures are different, people are different. I may need to have a regional director there and so on and so forth. At that point, that's when you need to figure out, okay, who do I need as an investor that can help me conquer new market, still keeping in mind I'm going to spend a lot of money, but how do I, like Benga was saying, how do I use digital tools to make it less sort of scary? Like I shouldn't be burning $1 million to generate $200,000. So I think the question is, if you're starting entrepreneur, your first step is scaling. How do I make sure it works where I am with a set goal of revenue or traction? Forget revenue, just traction. Number of users, maybe you don't generate revenue. How do I get there? Once you master that, you figure out how do you get your next investment to get to now, okay, let me expand to another country. So that's how I see it.
Fantastic. Now there's another question again. It's from Oluwatosin Akinyele, and it's again to you, Amadou. It says that for talent companies, the company directly or working out of the agreement with your firm with the knowledge investment. So yeah, that's the question.
Can you say it again one more time? You disappeared for 10 seconds.
All right, not a problem. It says for talent companies, how do you handle talent migrations? A situation where your talent are either joining the company directly or working out of the agreement with your firm with the knowledge investment.
So, okay, are you saying the question is migration as being poached by my client or migration as moving from clients to clients? There's two different scenarios.
All
here.
right, because the question is not very clear, let's go with what happens. What have you experienced? Which of them have you experienced?
So for migration, I love that because, like I say, I'm a Pan-African organization. We're able, for example, to take Ethiopian talent, move him to Dakar, Senegal, to work for a telco company, right? So that inter-migration of talent is very common at Gebeya. Kenyan developers will go to Senegal, or Kenyan developers come to Ethiopia. We haven't done much in migration in Nigeria, but we're looking into it, right? So migrating out of Africa, that's not what I signed up for, right? The reason why I built this company and chose Ethiopia to build it in is I want Africa to be stronger, to be more competitive in a sense, right? And the way I believe we can make our company competitive is by building better businesses with the best talent possible to match them in. Now, the poaching is a different story. So the good news is if you build in a marketplace, you assume you're going to have a lot of talent, right? So you can come up with an agreement with the client and say, I'll give you this talent for a year or two under contract where you pay me monthly. If you choose to later hire them, sort of, migrating out of Gebeya, you can do that for a fee. Hence why we even introduce a new product called G-Staffing, which is I just staff you one payment and that's it. So that's inevitable because the new, at least tech talent, they have a 2-3 year span of working for you and then they bounce because they want to learn something new or they want to move to Europe, America, what have you. You need to be flexible in your business model. But the way you solve it for me is scale. How many talent do you have available to you? How often do you replenish them? So if 100 leaves you, well, when do you expect the next 100 to join you? I hope I answer one of the questions at least.
No, fantastic. That's great. All right. So remember, for questions and answers, feel free to just drop your questions and then we'll be taking them. The next question is actually for Ernest. I can see that he's temporarily not here. So Ernest, are you with us? Okay, great. You're back. All right. Someone else is asking. They're saying to you, so Ernest, they're asking that in a market like Nigeria, right, where logistics is a constraint, what is your advice on how to achieve excellent last mile distribution?
All right, great question. I totally agree. It is a major problem.
All right, he's not there. Okay, so let's come back to you, Amadou. Have you experienced anything similar at your company? Okay, Ernest is back again. Let's try.
Right. Really can't understand the network issue I'm having today. Apologies, guys. So in terms of distribution challenge we have in the country, the only thing I see there is opportunity for new businesses to come in. It is a problem that is also affecting what we do today in terms of providing the platform.
Okay. Okay, that has happened again. All right then. So Amadou, there's another question here for you. It's just talking about what would you tell a young entrepreneur out there, basically advice like in terms of scaling, like they want to start a business, what would you ask them to look out for? How should they navigate it? What should they look out for?
Okay, if you're starting entrepreneur out there, you shouldn't be thinking about scaling, right? You should be thinking about what we call product market fit. Is there a customer out there who bought your product? So you should think proof of life, meaning you have something that you prove is out there, a prototype, and then you go to MVP. Once you go to MVP, you got 2-3 customers, and you don't even need a product to do that. Sometimes you can actually do it manually, right? For example, just prove that let's say you build a fintech product to provide loans, okay? Something as simple as that. Do you have 2 people that actually you can provide a loan manually and track that manual process, and then later figure out what are the pain points and then build a product out of it, right? That's what we did at Gebeya, right? We said we are a marketplace online, but we are not. I mean, for the past 2-3 years, we did a lot of manual thing to learn what does the client want and what does the talent wants, right? So when you get there now you get at the point where your product market fit, meaning one person at least bought your product or, subscribed to your product. Scaling is something else. Scaling is when you have a product, you want to have from 1 customer to 100, but you can't assume any costs because you haven't been funded yet. Maybe you're not seed, maybe you're pre-seed. You have no cash. So you use your innovation to figure out how do I get to 10? That learning process is very essential. Because if you raise money, let's say $1 million a seed, and you haven't proved that you can go from 1 client to 10, it's just exploratory money. You're just using your investors' money. Get through the process of understanding how do I get from 1 to 10 with the resources that I have, right? Now scaling is something else after that. Then, for example, when you're at 10, now how do I get to 1,000 with not increasing too much of my cost? Maybe you get a little seed like we did, and let's get to 1,000 customers, right? And then that's how the process. So you shouldn't think scale at all if you start as an entrepreneur. Can someone buy your product, or can someone subscribe to your service? That's the first step, and then you move from there. That's what I learned.
No, absolutely. Amadou, good answer, good feedback. Ernest, can you just wrap up on the question you were answering the other time? So, yeah.
Right. I am obviously just recommending. There's a challenge with logistics as pointed out. So entrepreneurs need to look into that space. There are players in that today. They're meeting the needs of what is required today, and in the time we are in today now, that online selling is what is probably going to be continuing going forward, whether or not the COVID ends. So many people who are not comfortable shopping online will remain so, and will continue to do that. So there's room for investors who want, or entrepreneurs who are looking for opportunity to get into business, look at the logistics side of the business we do today. So it's an open area. It's an open opportunity for people who have that plan to go into it. It's definitely going to be a good opportunity for you to get into quickly.
Fantastic. Someone else is asking a question here that, and this question is coming to you, Ernest, is asking that what is the advice for targeting customers in different income or in a shrinking middle class market like Nigeria? I know that we've already spoken briefly about this, about looking for a perfect product market fit, talking about looking at genius ways that, burning cash and all of that. But can you sort of speak to this person in terms of their question as well?
Right. When Flutterwave started, we were just enterprise focused. For the first 2 years of our life as a company, we were only looking at the big names, global clients who we believe we needed to serve. But the strategy changed. So we started looking at the middle class. We started looking at the lower side of the business because of course, with a plan that we can grow with the small businesses into becoming the big businesses. And we're able to provide solutions that meets their need. So in terms of being able to serve them, the products are there. A well put together product that serves every need, whether you're selling 2 items in a day or millions of products a day. So the Flutterwave store provide for the small businesses. The payment gateway itself, of course, for the enterprise, customized solutions to meet your need. It is not one fit for all. Flutterwave is able to provide solutions for all kinds of businesses, be it small, medium, or the enterprise or the global institutions today. And we're able to customize solutions to fit all your needs. Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, we've been talking about customizing solutions, looking at problems, looking for product fit. At that time when you've actually all sat down, thought about something very genius, launched this product, and then it failed. Can you just share that with us? Because now we're speaking about scaling. So what are the kind of challenges that these entrepreneurs can actually face in their path to scale?
Right. Because we are kind of into just payments, I wouldn't say we have not done anything that failed. Maybe failing may not necessarily be what, but maybe meeting our expectation in terms of timing, we expected it to mature. Sometime last year, yes, the product team came together to develop something we were hoping to launch last year that we have to suspend. Not because we don't believe in that, but we felt that maybe the time wasn't right for that. So as an entrepreneur, when you put together a plan that failed, it is not that maybe you've done anything wrong. It is maybe time for you to think again and maybe take another route to meeting what you expect. What is your original plan in offering that? So we have always put together a team to review any product we want to put in, make sure we have done proper research about what we are coming in, do more like a sample size opinion, get opinion from people we are targeting. Occasionally we bring people together, just ask questions in our office then to get in feedback before we launch a product. So we do all of that. So as an entrepreneur, make sure you are getting input from people you're targeting before rolling out product. Product should not be developed based on what you think, but based on what the people you're targeting expect from the product to deliver for them. So if you put all that together, trust me, you're sure going to be able to achieve your objective in rolling out any new product in the market.
Fantastic. Amadou, over to you. Same question. How would you address that?
Right. It's about putting a product out there. So here's two ways to think at it, right? Like I was talking about earlier, product fit. When we started in Ethiopia, our training model, people pay us, okay? We're charging $1,500 a head for 6 months training. Then we realized, okay, if few people can pay for that, we need to sort of, modify the product a little bit. So we failed miserably. And then we came back with a different price structure. So it's more of mitigating how do you sort of tweak your product. Hence why I was talking about product market fit, right? On the marketplace side, one of the products was, okay, we're a jack of all trades. Any talent you want, come, at least that software development. Then we realized people were asking us for specific skills that we didn't have. Like people would ask you, Ruben Rails developer who knows Java, who knows how to connect to enter switch. That's so specific, we realized that's not going to work. So we started tweaking our product and said we're going to make it, say, vertical specific. It's like we're very good at fintech, very good in telecom, very good at media and some of these different products there that we think. So it's more adjusting and listening to the market. The key of any product, I'm sure Ernest will tell you, is listening to your customer. So the failure is not necessarily of failing because, it's just more not understanding what the customers really tell you from both sides, from our talent side and from the...
Fantastic. Fantastic, great. So we literally have just 3 minutes left, and I'd just like to do a quick recap. So once we started, we spoke about things like, how we're navigating in the midst of a crisis, like there's COVID, there's lockdown, amongst others. And we just kept talking about, being able to think on your feet, being able to re-strategize. Flutterwave spoke about them launching a new product, boosting the ecosystem, keeping them in business, and also seeing their partners win. We also spoke with Amadou as well, talking about how we're able to manage resources, being able to manage talent, right? Raise your seed and you're looking for the next level. A lot of conversation today has been speaking about product fit, listening to your customers, creating the right product, tweaking the prices, tweaking the clientele, finding a fantastic marriage right there. So we've said a lot of this. What would you think would be your parting words? So if we had to have just 1 minute left to wrap up, to give advice, to, speak to other entrepreneurs out there, what would be your 1 minute last parting word? I'll start with you, Ernest.
Right. I read an article some time ago that says scale or you fail. Amadou rightly put it, as an entrepreneur, don't think scale at the beginning phase. You might just get more confused. Right? The right thing to do at the beginning is to understand what you want to do. Understand who you want to serve. Understand what your plan is to get in there, right? If you do get people to accept what you're doing, scaling becomes easier. If you scale without people accepting your brand, accepting your product, you're probably going to be more frustrated than even not even thinking about it at all. So the important piece here is get the right product out there, get the right marketing plan, get acceptance, be able to attract buyers, be able to retain people who come to test your products. If they try and repeat, scaling becomes easier. So it is very important to know that keeping your business going require you thinking and getting the right resource as well. All right. As a leader, you need to identify the right resource, human resource required, that will help you build the institution at the same cost that is manageable and not at growing cost as you grow your business. It's important to keep the cost going down as your business keeps growing up. Thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic. Awesome stuff. Amadou, over to you.
Yeah, so Ernest said that part well. I'll take it a little bit further out where where people, when they start a company in any African country, they think they're going to take over Africa. Yeah? I'm going to grow. Don't think that way. If your product doesn't work home for at least get you to a next level of growth, of scale, let's say, you don't talk about people, because investors will listen to you and stuff like that. And we failed miserably in expanding too fast to another African country. We're trying to run Kenya and Ethiopia at the same time, and we lost a lot of money in Kenya, gave up that, and continued to sort of tighten up our product in Ethiopia. So don't think of taking over the African continent. The only reason why I can say it now is because my product has a product fit, but at the same time, we are scaling using a digital tool. Okay, so that's why I can sit here and say that. But yeah, don't think of Africa. Think of where you are, even your city, right? And how you can conquer business there before you can think further out.
Fantastic. All right, great. Very, very interesting insight. Yeah, fantastic. All right. So thank you so much for joining this session. It's a session talking about the path to scale. So much has been spoken about fantastic product fit, about human resources, marketing plan, and also growing at a steady pace. I hope you all found it insightful. You can feel free to reach out to our panelists. That is Ernest from Flutterwave and also Amadou from Gebeya. So yeah, so that's it. Thank you so much for joining us. We had an amazing session.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate the contribution. Thank you, Tosin, for that amazing moderating session. And Gebeya, I'm so sorry. Thank you. It's nice to see you guys. Nice to see you again. And Ernest, nice to meet you as well. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. You can go to the backstage now. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Thanks for the session. Okay, so thank you. We will be going into the next session in 4 minutes, and I think it's an interesting session because a lot of people want to know about how to raise money during this period. And we have a lot of founders that have raised millions of dollars during this period. But before we go, I would like to take one person to join me on stage to maybe give a comment or a recap on the session. Just go to the Q&A session, raise your hand. I will pick you to join me on stage within a... So I pick Mubarak Balogun. You should join me on stage now. Hi Mubarak, you're live. Do you have a comment or question? Hello?
Yeah, I joined the section late.
We can hardly hear you. So I think I have to pick someone else. Mubarak's question is... Joshua now. Hi, Joshua.
Hi. Good afternoon, Wale.
Hi, good afternoon. So you have just 30 seconds for the comment or question.
So my question basically is, in terms of scaling, the human resource part of it, how can one, or what do you look out for in talent when hiring? Because at the end of the day, scaling is a direct function of the people that are the aims of the business, yeah? So are there particular human traits that stand out every time when you're hiring? Because, yeah, so how the founders or how the business leaders look out for the right type of people to hire to move their business to scale, to expand?
So I think this is a question for the panelists, but they left this place already. So what you would do is please engage them, and you can ask this question online as well on Twitter, or please drop the question on community.techpoint.africa. They will answer it. Go to community.techpoint.africa to drop this question. Thank you. So you guys don't forget, like, the hashtag is Techpoint Build. Hashtag is Techpoint Build on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, anywhere you are. Thank you. So Mubarak, Joshua, you can leave now. I will just, don't worry, I will disconnect you now so you don't have to. Okay. So guys, we are going to the next stage now. We are going to the next stage. You will see the next stage. Just click stage and see raising capital during COVID, which is an important conversation we are going to have. And don't forget, if you are on mobile, switch to web for a smooth experience. And don't forget to also drop questions when in the discussion box. And this, thanks to, again, I need to mention our sponsor, thanks to Patricia and Bento and all our sponsors for being part of this. Thank you so much. So guys, see you at the other stage. Just sign up.